Hey everyone, I'm Glory from Felicitas Travel, and I'm gonna give you the best 10 tips for a successful trip to Egypt. We're gonna get right into it. I spent 2 weeks in Egypt and I visited Alexandria in the north all the way down to Abu Simbel in the south. And this is the best information that I could gather that I think will really help anyone plan a great trip to Egypt. So number one, I don't remember where I read this, but someone had said to keep your tickets, to save them. Guys, it's one of the best ideas ever. Okay, so every time you go to a site, like let's say you go to the pyramids, they'll give you a ticket. Keep those tickets, and I'll tell you why. Because even if you take pictures, even if you take videos, which I did, sometimes you forget the names of some places. You're gonna be seeing so many things that you're not gonna remember everything. You're not gonna remember every single name of the temples and sites that you see. But if you have all of the tickets with you, you can just look back. They have, let me show you. So they have a picture of the site you visited, like this is obviously the pyramids, and then the name of the place, and they tell you also even if it's a World Heritage site. And they're kind of cute. They're like a cute souvenir, I think. And they also tell you the price of the ticket, like the entry price. So this was 160 Egyptian pounds. That's pretty cheap, like when you convert to dollars. It's none of these are really expensive. And when you have a tour package, they sometimes include the prices of these tickets as well. So when I'm editing my videos, and actually I'm gonna leave a link somewhere of my travel videos to Egypt, and there you can see like some of the stuff I did. It's kind of entertaining, I think. I don't know, just watch them. Sometimes I've been editing pictures, like about to post them on Instagram, or just editing my videos, and I'm like, I completely forgot what temple this is, and I just look back at my tickets, look at the picture, I'm like, oh, it's that temple, and then I have the name right there. So the quality of the pictures, the quality of the tickets, like this material is really good. Like it'll last you forever if you take care of them. See, I have them from every single place I went to. Keep them. You can keep them like in a little baggie somewhere, or like, I don't know, just keep them somewhere. Don't throw them away. Some people do travel scrapbooks, so if you're into that, this is amazing for that purpose, or just keeping them to remember where you went and as a souvenir. And tip number 2, and one of the most important ones that I didn't always follow, but when I did, I saw how important it is to know this and follow it. Get to sites as early as possible. Get to the pyramids as early as possible. Get to every single place that you're gonna go, especially if it's in the desert, early. If it's a museum, I would leave it for later, like afternoon, once the sun is high up and it's really hot, because most museums have air conditioner. At least the ones I went to, they all had air conditioner and were much cooler. But if you're gonna go to a site in the desert, honey, you're gonna wanna be there early. You're gonna wanna be one of the first people there. For the pyramids, I would say try to stay at a hotel that's close by. I stayed in one that was like literally right in front, like I could see the pyramids from my window. And even then I was kind of late because I'm not gonna tell you about my personal issues, but yeah, I wasn't there as early as I wanted to be. I was there like around 10 or 11. But yeah, try to be there before the crowds. First of all, try to be there before the sun is high up in the sky, because that desert sun does not play. It just doesn't play. Some places like Abu Simbel, when you organize a tour, ask the person at what time you will leave. You want to be the first group there. For example, my bus picked me up at like 3:30 in the morning. I know it sounds crazy, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it was worth it. Like everyone was asleep on the way there, so you can always sleep while you're on your way there. But it's a long trip. It's like 2.5-3 hours, because it's all the way in the border with Sudan. It's like really far from any town. So like from the closest town, it's like 2-3 hours away. And we were the first ones there, and we were there for like 30-40 minutes, and then I stepped out of one of the temples and it was like already a sea of tourists. The first wave of tourists arriving. Especially for pictures and videos, it's better if you beat the crowds. And honey, the sun. Oh, this is not one of the tips, but I'm gonna include it here. You need sunscreen. You need to take sunscreen with you to Egypt. I know it sounds weird, but it's hard to find sunscreen in Egypt, which you would think you would find a lot of sunscreen because it's so, you know, it's desert sun, but no. Take a lot of sunscreen with you. Take a big a big tube of sunscreen, or if you're like a person like me that likes carry on, take a few small ones, like, you know, in these little bottles that are TSD approved, whatever. They're approved for travel, and you can take a few of these. Yes, a few. You'll need sunscreen, honey. Tip number 3, when you arrive at the airport, after you've gone through customs, all that stuff, the first thing I would say you need to do before you leave, get a phone card. These are really affordable. They give you unlimited Wi-Fi 4G. They work really well. So they install it for you on your phone. They make sure that everything went through. So don't leave before making sure it works. So try to make a phone call, even if it's like to the hotel where you're gonna stay. That's what I did. I just called the hotel and make sure it worked. And then use my Instagram to see if the Wi-Fi was working, Google, all that. These are really affordable. There were 2 plans that I remember. It was the one that I got that was $35 for unlimited Wi-Fi 4G and unlimited, not unlimited, but it was a lot of minutes for phone calls and texting. I was not able to use all of it. I used a lot of it, but I wasn't even close. And I was there for 2 weeks. I think it would have lasted me probably like a month or maybe even over a month. The internet is unlimited. So there was like a $20 plan as well that it wasn't unlimited, but it was still good. It was still like a good amount. I think I would have gotten by with the $20 one, but I don't know. I just wanted to make sure that I was covered for my whole trip. That's why I got the more expensive one. The company is called Vodafone. They give you this little, I don't know, pouch thingy to put they put your own SIM card in the back here with tape. This is an old SIM card that I don't use anymore. And then you just keep it safe for the rest of your trip. They also give you a number that you can call if you ever have issues with using your SIM card. But I never had issues, not even once. And the Wi-Fi was very reliable. It was only like in very few occasions that it wasn't great, but I was on a train that time, like on a rolling train. Most of the time it was super reliable. So that's one of the best things you can do. Get yourself a phone card the minute you arrive at the airport. Because, you know, you never know. You could use it for emergencies. You have international minutes as well. You can call home so that your family knows that and friends know that you're doing okay. If a tour guide is late, if you want to call your hotel, if you're lost, whatever the case, you need a phone card. It is very important. Now, tip number 4. I think it's really important that you plan. I know. Listen, I hear you. If you're one of those people that like to be spontaneous and just grab your backpack and fly somewhere and figure it out along the way, I get it. It's really fun to do those things, but I really don't think Egypt is one of those places. Sorry. It's just the truth. Especially if you're female. And let me explain what I mean. The customs in Egypt are gonna be very different, especially if you're coming from a Western country. It's gonna be a bit of a cultural shock because it's not very usual for women to go out on the streets by themselves, especially to places like markets. There are really bad stories that you can search online. It's not a good idea. Maybe you're one of the lucky ones and nothing happens, but it's better to stay on the safe side because it happens often enough that tourists who have no idea, who are females, go out by themselves, and especially when they look very Western, you know, with maybe wearing pants and not covering their hair, and they get harassed and even worse things than that. But I don't want to dissuade you from going to Egypt. Egypt is amazing. I'm just saying be careful, plan ahead, know that you will need to be accompanied either by other females, which I guess is okay, but preferably by men. So either if you have a tour guide or maybe you know someone in Egypt, even better, but have someone with you. Do not go about roaming the streets of Egypt by yourself if you're female. I'm not criticizing the country, it's just a reality of the country. And one of the ways that I planned, once I did a little research and realized that this was a reality in Egypt, I bought a tour package. I had never done it before because I'm the type of person that likes to have an authentic experience, and I thought that planning things through a guided tour wouldn't allow me to experience local culture in the way that I like, but that's not true. It was actually possible to do it. It was very affordable. It was way more affordable than I would have thought, and I traveled like I said, most of Egypt. The only place I didn't go was the resort place that's like closer to the Middle East. It's actually great to have tour guides with you who can explain things to you. Also, I had 2 amazing tour guides. I am going to put their names and their numbers somewhere around here. I don't know. They were amazing and I recommend them. They were my 2 favorite tour guides. Egypt was very different because it was the first time that I went to a country and I didn't feel free to just go out by myself. Like I couldn't just be the, you know, the independent woman that I am. Oh god, that sounds so cliche, but you know what I mean. I'm not used to relying on someone, especially a man, to go out there and feel protected. So that was very different, and I'm just being real with you. Just try to avoid any negative experience. It is gonna be easier for you if you're a guy. You're going to be expected to pay additional tickets to take pictures at some sites. Not every site, some sites. So for example, I was expected to pay 50 pounds for this one to take pictures inside of this museum. This was also 50 pounds. This one was 20 additional pounds because I had a little stand. I had a little portable stand, tiny, like this size, but still, you have to pay additional money if you want to take that little stand with you to some places. But again, it's very affordable. It's like you saw, from 20 to 50 pounds. Tip number 6. Another really important aspect of Egyptian culture is tipping. You are going to be expected to tip everywhere for everything. But just know that a good amount. If there's anything else that you might want to ask me, you can drop a comment below. Or if you just enjoyed the video and want to comment on that, you're welcome to. Also, if you want to see any of the pictures that I took in Egypt, I don't know, for inspiration, I'm gonna leave my Instagram handle somewhere around the screen and also in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful, please subscribe, hit like, share, comment, all of the good stuff, and see you on the next one.